I'm surviving off my son's cash, and you have the audacity to be impolite. I don't even want to talk to you. That's how my mother-in-law Wanda screamed at me. After that, she completely started ignoring me. Before I knew it, I had been on the receiving end of her silent treatment for 3 long months. To make matters worse, Wanda and my husband did something unthinkable, The key doesn't work. Turns out, they changed the locks on our home without telling me. Fed up, I discreetly sold the house and decided to move. My name is Angela, a 29-year-old office worker. I've been married to Edward for 2 years. We met at a party thrown by a mutual friend. Edward is 3 years older than me and works for a conventional company in sales. He's really good at talking and quite entertaining. He seemed to take a liking to me, asked for my contact info, and soon we started seeing each other. He was incredibly fun to be around, and I found myself increasingly attracted to him. After a while, he confessed his feelings, and we became a couple. We dated smoothly for about 1.5 years before he proposed. I can't imagine a life without you, Angela. Will you marry me? He popped the question at a fancy restaurant with a beautiful night view, offering me a ring. Even if it was cliché, I loved it and immediately said yes. So, we got married. We had our family meeting, went through our ceremony, and everything was perfect. Many of our co-workers and friends attended the wedding, making it a really happy occasion. After our honeymoon, we started living together. Both of us work, so we split household chores to balance our responsibilities. Edward used to live at home and had helped Wanda with cooking, so he was good at household tasks. Moreover, he's an excellent cook, and his homemade meals are delicious. On days off, we go out on dates and spend a lot of wonderful time together. I truly believe I'm lucky to have married him. 2 years into our marriage, we're still madly in love and living a happy life. But that doesn't mean everything is perfect. The problem is Wanda. From the first time we met, she seemed cold towards me. The issue apparently was my educational background. Oh, you graduated from a rather low-level college. I can't trust people who didn't work hard in school. That's how Wanda belittled me. Sure, my college wasn't top tier, but I chose it not for its prestige, but for the courses it offered that I was interested in. I don't judge people based on their educational level, and frankly, I think it's irrelevant once you're out in the real world. So, I was shocked when Wanda mocked me for my education. The tension was palpable during our family meeting, and my husband looked noticeably uncomfortable. I had my reservations about Wanda before we got married, but I loved him, so I went ahead with it. Wanda lost her husband a few years back, and now lives alone in her in-law's house. As a result, she'd often visit us, and every time she did, she would have something to complain about. You really suck at cleaning. I can't deal with sloppy people. Make sure you clean every nook and cranny. My husband was the one who had cleaned the day before Wanda arrived, but something told me it'd be awkward to say that, so I kept quiet. I'd just apologize and wait for the storm to pass. However, Wanda kept coming over and berating me. You're uneducated, can't do household chores, and you don't even have kids. Seriously, you have nothing going on for you. How did you even manage to get with Edward? Her words were a real blow, especially when I was already feeling down. Finally, I'd had enough and talked to my husband about it. Can we do something about Catherine's attitude toward me? What do you mean, her attitude? She's constantly insulting me. Really? I never noticed. I was taken aback by that. My husband didn't think her comments were derogatory. Learning the shocking fact in our 2nd year of marriage left me stunned. Are you serious? Are you? I didn't think Mom intends to be mean. I started to wonder if my own perceptions were warped. That am I not normal? No, it wasn't me. It was my husband and Wanda who were both out of touch. That thought festered along with my growing distrust from my husband. I had sensed hints of his mommy issues for a while. It had never been a problem until now. His mommy issues started causing me real concern. Mom says you should cook more nutritious meals. So, can you add more variety to the menu? We both work, you know. I can't make elaborate meals all the time. A wife's cooking can motivate a husband to work harder and succeed. So please make more dishes. I think you've been skimping. Fine. I reluctantly expanded the menu, which did make dinner prep more labor-intensive. But what really got to me was when Wanda found out my husband was also contributing to the housework. How dare you make John do household chores? A wife should never do that. Stop it right now. Wanda yells at me like that, and I just couldn't handle it anymore, you know? Both my old man and I bust our humps at work, so it only makes sense to divvy up the household crap. But can you believe it? My daughter-in-law has the gall to shoot her mouth off about me. Unbelievable. This is exactly why I can't stand folks without a proper education. And let me tell you, what I'm saying has zip to do with education. In fact, I reckon my take is more in tune with the times. So, I dropped the bomb on Wanda, telling her straight up that her views are stuck in the past. And you know what? Her face turns redder than a lobster. Enough is enough. I won't let her make a mockery of me. So, what does she do? Runs to my husband to play the victim. My old man, bless his furious heart, calls me over. Hey Mom, why are you stirring the pot? Wanda's really upset. Can you believe it? It's your mom causing the ruckus, not me. I try to lay out my side of the story, but my husband drops a bombshell. Angela, it's all your fault, isn't it? Wait, was he even listening? He shoots me this icy glare, and then he gives me this disgusted look. What's with your attitude? You've become so disrespectful, just like Mom said. Seriously? Even my own husband is singing Wanda's tune. I felt crushed. I thought he had different values, but turns out he's just another puppet dancing to Wanda's strings. Can I really keep this marriage afloat and find happiness? I'm lost, drowning in uncertainty. And then, just when I thought it couldn't get worse, my old man drops another bomb. Mom's moving in with us. I ask when, thinking it's just a one-time thing. But nope. Starting tomorrow. I'm on edge with that starting tomorrow nonsense. What do you mean, starting tomorrow? Isn't it just for tomorrow? I ask with a sinking feeling. And what does my husband say? We're having my mom move in with us starting tomorrow. Move in? I can't believe my ears. Why the sudden cohabitation? Mom says it's a hassle to keep coming over all the time, so we figured she might as well move in. What? Decide that without consulting me. I'm the one bringing home the bacon. But no, it's my husband completely swayed by Wanda. She's filling his head with the idea that a wife should just obey her husband. But making a unilateral decision to shack up with Wanda? Unacceptable. Next day, Wanda waltzes in like it's no big deal, hauling in bags like she's moving in for good. Takes over a room on the first floor, acting like she's been living here forever. Angela, get the coffee going, will ya? You're such an inconsiderate daughter-in-law. Like, what? Hey, Mom's tired from moving, get it together. Both Wanda and my husband start berating me. The thought of this happening every day is unbearable. I start prepping for unforeseen disasters. Wanda keeps bossing me around, but I'm knee-deep in a major work project. I want to focus, so I ignore whatever they throw at me. Why are you coming home so late? It's Angela's job to make dinner. Why are you making us wait? I had to work late, for crying out loud. You two seem to have eaten already. What's the problem? I say, and both my husband and Wanda shoot daggers at me, faces red with anger. Infuriating, living off my son's money, and you dare talk back. Wanda yells. What on earth is she on about? I'm not living off my husband's money. Actually, I earn more than he does. But Wanda's got it all twisted. She starts ignoring me, blanking me when I greet her or have a question. My husband joins in. ignoring me like it's a team sport. Before I know it, 3 months have passed. I'm busy with the project, and their silence is actually a relief. They look at me with smug smiles, thinking they're getting under my skin. I see no harm in letting them think that. I even play the part, subdued and downcast. But as the project hits its peak, I'm working overtime like crazy. We finally wrap it up, and in my focus, I've completely forgotten about Wanda and my husband. I guess I was so out of it that I wouldn't have noticed being ignored. At some point, they realize I'm not affected at all. And then, they pull a stunt I never saw coming. My key doesn't work. No matter how many times I try, it won't fit into the lock. Turns out, they changed the locks without telling me. As I'm frantically trying to get in, I hear Wanda and my husband inside. Is that a burglar? But we're home alone, so it can't be a break-in, right? Maybe it's trespassing. They're laughing and talking loud. I can't believe it. They've taken it this far. That was the last straw. I decide in secret to sell the house and move. This place, a family home my parents left me when they retired to the countryside last year. So, I had all the reasons in the world to get back at them. I mean, the right to sell the house was mine, and I had it valued just in case things got messy with Wanda squatting there. I booked myself into a business hotel and briefed my folks on the situation and my cunning plan to sell. Disappointed in both my husband and Wanda, my parents greenlit my move. I wasted no time. I immediately got in touch with a real estate agent and offloaded the property. I had a locksmith swing by to unlock the door, and when I stepped in, Wanda stared at me in disbelief. How did you get in? Did you break the lock? It was Wanda's voice, a sound I never wanted to hear again. Ignoring her protests, I began packing my belongings. Say something. I'll call the cops for trespassing, she yelled. But I continued, indifferent to her threats. I even had movers with me, and they started hauling away my furniture. Wanda kept on screaming, calling me a thief who thought she could get away with anything. I disregarded her completely. The locksmiths and movers seemed uneasy around Wanda. I had informed them that she was the mother of my husband who was suffering from dementia. I told them she had mistakenly changed the locks, confusing my home for her own. The more she screamed, the more it looked like her condition was severe. Suppressing my laughter, I efficiently carried on with the move. In no time, all my stuff was gone. I left the divorce papers, already filled out, on the table and walked away. Wanda continued yelling, but I paid her no mind. Let her taste the bitterness of being utterly ignored. That night, my husband called me, furious. "What the hell are you doing robbing this house?" he shouted. I decided to engage him in a meaningful conversation. "What are you talking about? I've only taken what I bought with my own money. And, by the way, remember, the house itself was passed down to me from my parents. You've been so busy trying to impress Wanda that you've started to believe your own lies." My husband seemed to finally remember after hearing me out. His phone was on speaker, so I also heard Wanda's voice chime in. "Wait, what's going on?" Good. If Wanda is listening, that makes things easier. Wanda, since you're listening, perfect. I've already sold the house, so please leave immediately. Also, sign the divorce papers. If you don't agree to the divorce, I'll take this to court. Both of them were speechless at my statement. What's the matter? Giving me the silent treatment again? I don't mind, but just so you know, I will kick you out without any hesitation. I knew they weren't truly ignoring me, they were just lost for words. But I said it anyway. As expected, my husband finally said, "Wait, please." I ignored him and hung up. Shortly after, I initiated divorce proceedings through my lawyer. My husband quickly agreed to the divorce, probably out of fear of a court battle. Subsequently, both my ex-husband and Wanda were kicked out. Despite having enough money from the house sale and some pensions to afford a decent apartment, it turns out Wanda had been squandering money. She paid off her debts with my father-in-law's inheritance and continued her spendthrift ways, making my ex-husband think he could afford to buy a house. Now he's struggling to pay off the debt, Wanda accrued. Despite his lengthy explanations and pleas to get back together, I have completely ignored him. Now I live alone in a cozy apartment. I plan to save the money from the house sale for my retirement. For now, I'm done with love. I'll focus on my career and strive for that promotion.